answering, I'll just go further. That's all. So you're going to lose the things. Yes, yesterday so many times I told what is the meaning of resource. Yes, somebody's unmuted. Bhuvan, can you answer what is the meaning of resource? Bhuvan. Okay, very bad
Like
response.
data or data transmission, something like that.
What was the question I asked? So first understand the question. So in circuit switching, there is a reservation of resources. When this node want to send the data to this node, okay. So
A
I
piece
told
of
yes,
information,
yes. Repeat.
a piece of information that can be accessed from another computer to this.
No. So now I need to repeat everything, whatever I have done from 2 class. See, yesterday itself I told what is the meaning of resource. Let me just repeat. So consider here 2 nodes. You see, as and when the topic is done, try to go through the textbook once. So just listening it's not enough. You have to read the textbook. Okay. So resources, either it is circuit switched or it may be packet switched. So to send the data, what it requires, what it requires. So in between there may be a router or it may be a switch. Okay. In additional to that, what it requires. Just having this component, is it sender can send the data to a receiver? What is the important thing is required? Yes, yes, I want the answers. Simply keeping quiet, it is of no use. Just tell me. What else it requires? Whatever I think you student told answer, it is not correct actually. Think of what is the resource it requires. It requires link no to send the data either through the router or through the switch. It requires link. Okay. So link is a resource. So if you are going with a circuit switch network, okay. So according to this concept, so it has to reserve the link. Within a link, if it is using anything like FDMA, TDMA, it has to reserve the channel. Okay. So during setup phase, it is done. So during setup phase, it has to make a reservation of resources throughout that path to reach from source to a destination. How long that resources is reserved? As long as these two devices want to exchange the information. Once it is done, so once it is the connection is tear down, then immediately it will release. But in case of packet switching, so that is not required, no reservation of resource. As and when the data comes, immediately it will allocate. If it is having the free channel, okay, consider if the packets are coming from source node or the sender, it will check the router, okay, is it any link is free as of that time, okay. If it is not free, then these packets will be stored in the queue. Okay, it will be stored in the queue. Once the link is available, so then this whatever the data it is stored in the queue or in the buffer, so it will start transmitting that data. Okay, so because of that you can tell, so here there is no reservation. As and when the data comes, there is no setup phase, there is nothing. So just once the sender want to send the data, it will just start sending the data, but before sending, the data is divided into number of packets. Okay, you can just observe. So that's why it is called datagram. When I use the term datagram, it is nothing but it is connectionless. Okay, it is a meaning. It is not like connectionless means there is no wire. The meaning of connectionless here is like it is not going to follow a single path to transmit the complete data. So it can go through multiple paths. So now if this is a data, so some data may go So when this data comes, if this link is available, so it will just send that data through this link to reach this destination X. Okay, maybe the other data, that is 2, packet number 2, okay, so that may be taking this link. Okay, the ultimate goal is to, any path it can take, ultimate goal is to, it has to reach the destination, because when it is dividing, this is complete data, it is divided into packets. Once it is divided into packets, so each packet, it will be having the data information, and also there will be address information, what is the source and destination address. Accordingly, the router is going to forward the packet. Okay, so whatever the destination it is specified here, accordingly it is going to forward that packet to the next hop or to the next node till it reaches the destination. Okay, so you can just see how the data is arrived here. So what is the one important complexity, or there is some what we can, it requires some extra process at the destination. What is that? Can somebody answer by seeing this? Once the data is arrived at the destination, there is some extra work to be done at the destination. What is that? If you observe the diagram carefully, you can understand. See, there are a lot of diagrams, concept you need to understand. If you are not studying regularly, or if you are not listening, then you will face the consequences. So I have seen the last time how you have written third eye offline. Yes, can somebody guess what is the meaning of this? What is the complexity added at the destination compared to circuit switching? So here there is some extra time or extra complexity is added at the destination. In circuit switching, so that part is not there. What is that? You just think of like what is your response. Okay, based on that you can think of how much you are understanding. So is it any difficulty or any problem you are facing from my side? Let me know so that I can correct myself. So if you are not understanding, or if any difficulty, let me know so that I'll correct myself and I'll do better still more. I'm just asking, what is this pattern what you got? Based on that, can you tell there is some additional complexity added at the destination?
Data got interchanged, ma'am.
Okay. So that means the data, it is coming out of order. Okay. So now at the receiver side, so it has to be reorder the data. Okay. So that problem was not there in the circuit switch, because we used to use only single path, dedicated path to send the data. So because of that, the data is coming in order. Okay. But in case of datagram network, what happens is the data is coming independently with a different multiple links. So each packet may arrive at different interval of time. Okay. So because of that, the data may be go out of order here. So now, so it requires to be reorder. For that, here itself the care is taken by adding the sequence number. Okay, based on the sequence number, it can be reordered at the destination. Once it is reordered, delivered to the destination. Okay, is it clear? You need to understand each and every term. The diagrams are very, very important. So everybody should practice. Coloring is not required. Just draw the simple block diagram. Okay, so where it is going to imitate the working procedure of that particular method. Okay, so that's all about how the datagram works. So your packet may be lost or dropped because of lack of resources. Okay, so what is the resource? Consider here there may be loss of packet. That's also I explained in the last class. But now if I are asking any questions, nobody is answering. Okay, consider here there may be, I am sending like 10 packets through this link. Maybe it is sending out of this router, maybe it is reached to 6. It is reduced to 6. Then what happened? Remaining 4 packets. So that is dropped. Okay, because maybe if the router is busy, okay, and also the buffer or the queue, whatever it is there here at the router, okay, if that is also full, Okay, if it is capable of holding only 4 packets, if any further packet comes, so that will be dropped. Okay, so that is dropping of packet takes place, that is due to lack of resources. Okay, lack of resources. So try to understand it. It's very interesting, and the understanding of the concept is very easy. So I want you people to understand the terms carefully. Okay, so it is the responsibility of an upper layer protocol to reorder the datagram, ask for lost datagram. In case if any datagram is lost, so that has to be, it should ask for the resending of the data. Okay, so that you're going to learn how it is going to ask for the resending of the data, maybe in the further protocols. Okay, so here you just remember, so reordering should be done, and also in case if any loss of data, the upper layer should inform to the lower layer for requesting to resend the lost packets. So the datagram networks are referred to as connectionless. Okay, so I told connectionless means it is not wireless. Okay, connectionless means you are not going to get a dedicated single link connection between the source and destination. Okay, that was in case of circuit switched. So connectionless means it may take any path. Okay, any multiple path, the whatever the packet you want to send. So each packet may travel in different paths. Okay, to reach the destination. So that is the meaning of connectionless here. So this is because switch does not keep information about the connection state. Okay, it is not going to maintain any information regarding connection state. So there is no setup and tear down phase. So that's what I told. So this is also very important term to indicate it as connectionless. Here we don't have any setup phase. Okay, just compare this with the circuit switch network where we used to have 3 phases. Okay, first set up the phase. Okay, then data transfer, then tear down connection. Okay, but those things are not there. Only directly we are dealing with the second step, that is data transfer. So it will just start transferring the data if it requires to send. So each packet is treated as the same by switch regardless of its source and destination. Okay, whatever may be the source and destination. So whatever may be the source and destination, so it will just check what is the source, where to which route it has to send. Accordingly, it will just forward the packet. Okay. So for that, this router, okay, if it is with respect to datagram, we are going to consider the network component is the router. Okay, where you want to send the data from one network to the another network. So for that it requires to maintain the routing table. Yesterday I was explaining about the routing table, how it is going to maintain. You can just observe here. So, and this routing table is created dynamically. Okay, as and when the request comes, it will check if that information is not there in the table, it will keep on adding that information. If it is already there, it will refer that, and it will check to which output port it has to send the data to reach that destination. Okay, consider 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, to reach this destination, so here it is stored the in which output port the data should be sent. Okay, it will come to know that, so for that destination address the output should be sent to through this output port. Okay, similarly 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so what are the possible destination address it comes, so accordingly it is going to maintain this routing table. Okay, so here each switch has a routing table which is based on the destination address. So each switch, that means if there are 10 switch in the network, so all the 10 switch will be having this routing table information. The routing table are dynamic and updated periodically. Okay, so this is not going to be static, or see if it is like in our college I told about yesterday with respect to circuit switched. If it is a small network, example LAN, so you can maintain this information statically. You can create this information once in a table, okay, and store it, so accordingly the data can transmit. But if it is network, okay, if it is network, that means if you are connecting different network, okay, so if you are connecting different networks, so in that case So we cannot maintain don't know which node is going to be added in the network, or which node is going to request, which node is going to send the data. So it's very difficult. Okay, so you cannot maintain static table in such case. So it requires this table should be updated periodically and dynamically. Okay, as and when the data comes, even the router is having some intelligence. Okay, it is going to learn. So consider if a new packet comes, that information, if it is not available in the routing table, okay, it will check what is the destination address, and also here there will be routing algorithm. Okay, so that is going to find, so through which port it has to send the data, and correspondingly that port number should be added into the destination table. Okay, so that is separate chapter about how routing table is built. Okay, so I think maybe even in your algorithms subject, you're going to learn different algorithms, how to find the shortest path, all those things. Okay, so some of the algorithms are also used in the network to find the optimal path or shortest path. Okay, so those algorithms are going to find the destination, or find the route to reach the destination. Okay, so I'm not going to explain in detail about how exactly it is done, but here remember, so this table is not static. Okay, it is going to be dynamic. In case if this particular information is not required for longer, or if it is not used for longer time, maybe that can be removed. Okay, once a connection is tear down, so that information can be removed periodically. It is not going to be frequently. So periodically it will check, and it is going to remove the old data. And as and when new request comes, the corresponding information is added into the routing table. Okay, so that is how the routing table is maintained. So each switch, okay, so here switch, the term they are using switch, but here the device used for connecting the device is a router. Okay, so router is totally different from switch, that you need to understand. So switch has routing table which is based on destination address. Okay, so and this is dynamic and updated periodically. So the destination address and corresponding forwarding output ports are recorded in the tables. Okay, so this is not that's what I told you, it is dynamic. Okay, as and when the request comes, it will check the destination. Okay, and also it will find to reach this destination which port it has to send. Okay, in case if that information is not there, and it is going to add that information into the table. If it is already there, then it will refer that information and send the data. Okay, so that is how the routing table works. Then destination address, every packet carries a header that contains destination address. Okay, so in the beginning itself, when it is splitting the data in the form of packets, you can just observe here 1 2 3 4, the data is divided into 1 2 3 4. So when it is dividing, so each packet should be added with the address, destination address. Okay, it will be having both source and destination address, and also the data to be transferred. You will learn in the later chapter like what is the format uh, used for representing the packet, all those things. Okay, how the data is stored in a packet, what are the other information. Is it only the data and source and destination address? No, there are a lot of information. It is stored in a packet. Okay, maybe in the next chapter you are going to learn in detail about that. So here time being, you remember it is going to add the source and destination address. So when switch receives a packet, okay, the destination address is examined. The routing table is consulted to find the corresponding port through which packet should be forwarded. Okay, refer the table for that destination address. What is the port number it has to use to send? Okay, output port. The destination address in the header of the packet remains same during entire journey of the packet. Okay, it is not going to change. Okay, this point is very important, because the different in the next topic, okay, you're going to learn another method. So that is there you're going to use different method each time. Where the packet is forwarding from node to node, the address is going to change, but in case of datagram, okay, it is going to be remain same till it reaches the destination. Okay, it is not going to change the destination address in the header packet. Okay, so now with respect to efficiency, so how efficient it is. So datagram networks are more efficient when compared to switched networks. Okay, when switched networks. So in terms of resources are allocated only when there are packets to be transferred. Okay, it is not going to like reserve any resources. Okay, then transfer data. So if that is the case, most of the time the resources may be not utilized efficiently. But in case of datagram, that problem is not there. Okay, on demand it is going to allocate the resource. You need to understand what is the meaning of on demand. So as and when the packet arrives at that particular node, okay, so it will check if this link is free, then it will check the routing table which port it has to take. Accordingly, it will send with any of one of these port if the link is free. If it is not, then put it into the queue. Maybe you are learning operating system, all the okay, all this concept. If the CPU is busy, you are going to add into the queue. Okay, the same thing happens in the network also. It will be put into buffer, either queue or we call it as buffer. So if source sends a packet, there is a delay of few minutes before another packet can be sent. The resources can be reallocated during these minutes for the other packet. Okay, so like whenever if the data comes immediately, it is not going to send to the next node. Okay, so it has to do a lot of processing. It has to check the address. Okay, it has to refer the routing table to which port it has to send. Okay, it will take some amount of time before sending the data. Now you should be very clear with respect to a circuit switch and in packet switching the datagram switch, the datagram network, how it works. Okay, in terms of referring the address or in terms of sending the data. So if you have still any doubts, you just go back and read the textbook, or if you have any doubt, you can just ask me now itself. Okay, this is an important point you need to remember, and you can just observe. So this is like how to calculate the delay. Okay, how to calculate the delay in case of datagram network. I think this the same format in the last class I've explained with respect to circuit switched also. You can just observe if this is the source and B is the destination, and you should able to calculate what is the total delay to transmit the data. Okay, so here you can just observe. So transmission time. So transmission time, this length, height, can you see here this blue color line? This indicates the transmission time, total transmission time. So from this node to this node. Okay. So once again it requires the transmission time of this, and similarly from this second router to the destination. Okay. So that is referred as 3T. Okay. That is called as transmission time. So now, so how much time it is taking to reach from A to this node? Okay, so that is represented using what is this notation called? Tau. Okay, so this notation is called tau. So 3 tau, and waiting time. Each time when the data comes, okay, when the data comes to the router, okay, immediately it is not forwarded. Maybe because of the router is busy with processing other data, or the link is not available due to some reason, and also it will take some extra time to check any queries. Okay, it will take extra time for processing and also for referring the okay. So for processing and referring the routing table. So there will be some waiting time here. So that is due to lack of resource availability or some time to check the routing information to which port it has to send. So that time it is called as waiting time. So how much waiting time according to this diagram? So this is W1 waiting time and this is W2 waiting time. Okay. So this gives the total delay in case of datagram network. Okay. So this diagram is very, very important. So in terms of efficiency. Okay, so your datagram network may have greater delay when compared to the circuit switch network. Why? Can somebody guess what is the reason? Why it is going to face more delay compared to the circuit switch? Because each time, so on demand, it is going to allocate the resources. So if the resource is not available, obviously it has to wait for that till it get the required resources. Okay, so because of that, it may increase the waiting time. If it is not only this much, sometimes if it is increased more than this, so obviously the delay is going to be increased. But in case of circuit switch network, so once there is a setup phase is done, that is an extra step it is required in circuit switch. Once setup is done, so there is no delay actually, there is no waiting time. Okay, so as and when the sender is sending, so immediately it is sent to the receiver. Okay, so there is no much delay during data transfer. I think if you have observed in the previous diagram, so there was only one, the blue color line, okay, so indicated the data transfer. Let me just quickly go to that. Just compare here. Okay, so that waiting time is not there. Only the extra time is for connection setup and disconnect. So remaining once the connection is established, so it can keep on exchanging the information without much delay. So that is how both the datagram and circuit switch network works. Okay. Let me move quickly on to the, still I have time now, 5 more minutes. I'll just introduce this virtual circuit network. So virtual circuit network is a cross.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what is it tau, ma'am?
So that is a transmission time. Okay, to reach your data. This is
You
the
said your
duration.
transmission time, no, ma'am.
Transmission time. This is transmission time means the duration, how long it was sending. Okay, this is propagation time. So to reach the data from A to B or A to this node, okay, how much time it is going to take. Okay, so that is indicated with tau. So that is going to happen for from this node to this node, and also it may go vary also depending on how long this distance is there. Okay, the propagation time is also going to be varying. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So according this formula is not standard. Okay, this formula is not standard. So this is according to this diagram I am explaining. In case if you have one more node added here, so obviously these components are going to increase. This becomes 4 and this is also going to be 4, and you will be getting one more W3. Okay, and waiting time also it may be like it is going to vary. That's why we have not taken W2 into W, because the waiting time here it may be short. Okay, in this case it may be more. So you need to calculate waiting time separately. Okay, so that's all about the datagram. So next, in a packet switch network, we have one more category called virtual circuit networks. Okay, so what is this virtual circuit network? So it is a cross between the circuit switch network and datagram network. That means it is just a combination. Some of the important characteristics it is taken from a circuit switch network and also datagram network. Okay, so all the both the characteristics it is mixed in virtual circuit networks. So we'll just go ahead and we'll discuss how exactly it is differ from those methods. But whatever the concept you learned in the first method, okay, and in the second method, packet switch network, so some of the important characteristics are combined here in this method. So in this case, we need to understand some of the important concept, that is addressing, then three phase. Okay, so once again it uses three phase, like how it was using in circuit switch network. Then efficiency, we'll discuss at the last efficiency and what is the delay. So this is similar to telephone system. So the how the telephone system works, when I use given example of telephone, you should imagine like how the connection is established and how data transfers. Okay, so that is important. So this is the transferring of data. It is similar to telephone system. In datagram, I told example of postal system. Even circuit switch network, I have given example of telephone system. Okay, you just remember those examples. So yes, usual virtual circuit network is combination of. So I think I have told this. Like what are the important characteristics? Okay, in short, here I have given VCN. So VCN stands for virtual circuit network. Okay, virtual circuit network. So here we need to follow some of the important characteristics. So one is, as in circuit switch network, there is a setup and tear down phase in addition to the data transfer phase. Okay, so that is one more additional thing added in VCN. So it is going to follow these three steps. So in circuit switch network, resources can be allocated during setup phase. As in datagram, resources can be allocated on demand. Okay, so that is like how it is going to use in case of virtual circuit. So it is going to be once again allocating the resources in advance. Okay, so as in datagram network, data is divided into packets. Okay, here also you are going to divide the data into packets. So each packet carries an address in the header. So however, the address in the header has local jurisdiction. Okay, so that is not end-to-end jurisdiction. That means you are not going to just add the address like in case of datagram, where you are going to add the address of destination. Okay, the data and the destination address, and it will be remain same throughout the transmission. But in case of VCN, okay, virtual circuit network, each time, so this address is going to change. Okay, this address is going to change when it moves from one node to the other node. Okay, so we'll discuss how it is done. So how that address is going to keep on changing from moving from one node to the other node. So in case of circuit switch network, all packets follow the same path established during connection setup. Okay, so here also it is going to happen. I'm just comparing whatever the characteristics of these methods. The same thing it is used in virtual circuit network. So in virtual circuit network is implemented in the data link layer. Okay, so where it is implemented, circuit switch is implemented at the physical layer and datagram is implemented at the network layer. Now this virtual circuit VCN, it is implemented on the data link layer. Okay, so all these characteristics are implemented at the data link layer. So is it clear now, all three methods? So now whatever the method we are going to discuss, that is implemented at data link layer. Okay, so you can just observe the diagram. So this diagram tells once again a virtual circuit network. You can just observe there are end system connected with set of switches. Okay, so here the network has a switch that allow the traffic from source to destination. Okay, so if I consider this is source and this is destination. Okay, with the help of this switch, you are able to transmit the data. Okay, the source and destination can be a computer. It can be a computer. Okay, or it can be a packet switch, or it can be a bridge, or any other devices that comes under networks. Okay, so it is going to follow the same procedure. Each time it has to change the address when it is moving from this switch to this switch. So there will be a change in the address. Okay, so we'll just look into that. So that is very, very important in virtual circuit. So addressing mechanism is very, very important. Then what are the different types of addressing it supports? So one is global. Okay, when I tell global, that means whatever the address it is used, it should be like unique throughout the network. Okay, local means like within that, if it is a small network, just consider LAN. So within that, you can just using set of numbers, it can identify the devices. The same numbers can be repeated in the other network. That is possible. So that is called intra-network and inter-network. Okay. So here, what is the meaning of global addressing? So the source or destination needs to have global address. Okay. So global address indicates that can be unique in scope of network or internationally if the network is part of international network. Okay. So if it is if the devices are connecting to different networks, okay, maybe within the state, country, world. So in such cases, it requires to go for global addressing. So we have another method of addressing, that is local address. So that is also called virtual circuit identifier. There are a lot of traffic. Just a minute. Okay. So here local address, that is also called virtual circuit identifier. So this is a very important point you need to remember with respect to this virtual circuit network. So what is this virtual circuit identifier? Okay, so here the identifier is used for data transfer is called as virtual circuit identifier. Okay, so whenever it is moving from one node to another node, so each node it is going to add its own VCI. Okay, so that I am going to explain. So a VCI, unlike global address, is a small number that has only switch scope. Okay, small number means for a small network connecting like 50 devices. Okay, like that, and also the number of digits used for this VCI, it is going to be small numbers. Like it is not having any particular IP addresses in the format of IP addresses. So VCI is used by a frame between two switches. Okay. So frame means you should remember it is at the data link layer. The data is represented at the data link layer. When frame arrives at a switch, it has a VCI. When frame leaves, it has a different VCI. Okay. You can just observe that here. So consider this is one node in the network. Okay. Consider the data is coming from the node. Either it can be a switch this side or it can be a computer. So this contains data and also some VCI number, virtual circuit identifier number. So once it arrives here, it is going to change this VCI number, okay, and transmit to the next switch. Are you people are getting? So when a frame arrives at a switch, it has a VCI, some VCI number. Okay, once it leaves, that is important. Okay, so how I am assigning, I will explain later that. So you need to remember here. So the VCI number is going to change when it arrives and when it leaves. Okay. So how it is going to change? We'll just check it. Is it clear? So this is with respect to addressing I am explaining. That is very important. So now let's move on to for more discussion. So what are the three phases? Once again, this circuit, virtual circuit network uses. Once again, it is having three phases. The source and destination need to go through three phases: setup, data transfer, and teardown. Okay, you just recall a circuit switch network. Okay, the process is different, but it uses the same phase. So in setup phase, the source and destination use their global address to help switch make table entries for the connection. Okay, so here the switch has to make an entry, like each switch it is going to maintain a table. So that table should have the source and destination address. So that is all this it is done in the setup phase. I will be explaining in detail with a neat diagram. So in teardown phase, the source and destination inform switch to delete the corresponding entry. Okay, once the communication is over, so the source and destination should inform to the switch to remove that entry whatever it is maintained in the table. Otherwise, what happens if every node, okay, keep on adding the information in the table and if it is not changing, okay, so when new request comes, like there will be no place to store. It requires a lot of memory to maintain that. Okay. Even the size of the table is if it is keep on increasing, so searching becomes difficult. Like this, there are so many complexity arises. for that, so as and when communication is teared down, immediately it has to clear, or it has to delete that entry from the table. So data transfer occurs between these two phases. Okay, that is between setup and tear down phase. So how it is done, I think it may get late for you people because I need to assign quiz also. Any queries? So in the next class, I will explain like in detail. So how this VCI number is taken, how it is converted, all that. Okay. So in the next class, I will be finishing this chapter, and I need to start error correction and